Okay. Thank you for coming on such short notice. For those who are able to make it, appreciate it. I'm going to try and keep this brief. And again, it's recorded, so you should be able to watch it after. And we are sending out an email which summarizes all points, so you should have it in writing after for clarity purposes. So you're probably familiar by now that we, over the last couple of days, week, there's been a tremendous uptick in COVID-19 cases in our area, particularly in our zip code 11223, and some of the surrounding zip codes as well. As a result, there's been a lot of attention on our area. You might have even heard that some other day schools have had to close for a couple days or more. And the mayor's office has been in contact with a lot of local people, including some people that represent our institution. They issued some interesting guidelines on Friday evening and then clarified those guidelines over the next couple of days, including even this morning. And the guidelines that the mayor put out and the Department of Health state the following thing, which is that in order to have a school open, you have to have full-time mask wearing and either 6 feet or barriers, 6 feet of distance between people or barriers between them. So if you're familiar with what we've been doing, you'd say, wow, we were doing that already. And you'd be correct. We have been doing that. And therefore, without any significant modification to our school, we're able to open in person tomorrow after the clarification that the mayor made at his press conference this morning at around 11 a.m. So therefore, you saw our email, and we're very happy to be able to be open for tomorrow. Some points that we want to add to that that I think are significant. Number one, we are able to open for all grades. And this is a question people are asking me throughout the afternoon, what happened with the 12th grade? So the 12th grade, when we shifted to remote on Thursday afternoon, we had a substantial number of students in quarantine. Per some clarification after that, and per some people coming back from quarantine, a lot of the students that we thought would have had to have been in quarantine are no longer needing to. So actually, the overwhelming majority of the grade can be in person. So a question that some of the students have asked me is, hey, I already made plans to be somewhere else. Can I Zoom in? Regretfully, I'm going to say yes. We have to be flexible. So we're going to be flexible on that for people who can't be in, especially in 12th grade. If you need to Zoom in for 2 days only, for Wednesday, Thursday, so we will allow that, even though normally that would not be within our policy. Normally, if you're not in quarantine or isolation, we're not letting you Zoom in. But for the next 2 days, if you're stuck somewhere else, so we're going to be as lenient as possible with that for the next 2 days. We want to take this opportunity to just, shall we say, tighten up some areas where we feel we could be better than we were. And so let me go through a couple of those areas. One, you probably noticed from the email that we sent out earlier this afternoon. We've changed the start time to school from 7:30 to 7:45. Those 15 minutes are coming out of the breakfast time. We found that the breakfast time was a very challenging time for people to maintain all the guidelines that we have because they were trying to eat, and it was hard to keep the distance, and the mask wasn't on. So we're really slimming it down, and what we're really advising is that all students eat home before they come to school. All students eat home before they come to school. A couple of points about that. Number one, Crawford's, because of this, is just not going to be open for the at least in the near future. My Food Days is still available, so if you want to order, it'll be delivered to your classroom. So that's no problem. And there will still be some small water bottles, breakfast bars available in the classroom. But again, we're advising that people eat before they come to school, because breakfast we're really trying to trim it down. From a halachic standpoint, and not eating before praying. That's the normal thing that we would say. But under the circumstances, we're asking students to eat at home. Say before you eat at home, say Birkot HaShachar and Kriyat Shema. If you do that under circumstances like these, it's okay to eat breakfast before praying Shacharit. So therefore, again, say Birkot HaShachar, say Kriyat Shema, and then you are able to eat before you come to school. That is the best thing. There will be a short period of time. We expect girls' minyanim to end at about 8:15, and the boys' minyanim to end at about 8:20. And for those in the AP classes that start at 8:15, so the students are going to try and get out early from the minyanim in order to be able to make those classes. Okay, some other points that we want to remind people about that are very, very significant. Number one, the daily medical screening that we send out every day. This is not a formality. The daily medical screening is incredibly important. You need to pay attention to it each day, and you have to make sure that you're answering it with thought and with integrity. If you have been exposed to anyone, you answer it there. That's going to tell you don't come to school. Then don't come to school. If you're showing any symptoms, it's going to tell you stay home until you're clarified with the nurse. So follow that guidance. I don't know if it's true. It's only anecdotal to me, but some people have told me that I don't know if everyone's following this. I don't know either, but I'm affirming here. Very important for all of us to make sure that when we fill out that form every morning that gets texted and emailed us at 6:05 in the morning, we make sure that we do so with clear thought and with integrity. If we're not feeling well, say so. If we've been exposed to someone, say so, and that's going to help us make sure that we maintain a safe environment. I think everyone's been doing that, but I just want to affirm that it's important that we do. Next, if you have been placed in quarantine, you need to follow the rules of quarantine. Again, I think people are doing that, but I want to clarify that. We sent out to the students yesterday what the rules were for what the expectations are for quarantine. We're going to resend it again. Please go through them and understand what it means to be quarantined if you need to. It's very important for the health of everyone around you to maintain the quarantine. We're going to need to reaffirm 6 feet of distance between all people in public places. This is very, very significant. I think some people have been a little lax when it comes to being in the commons or the cafe area. I've seen a few people getting closer than 6 feet together. It's really important that we stay 6 feet apart. This is important for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's just what the health protocols maintain. Number two, it can keep you out of quarantine if you're within 6 feet of somebody else that you're talking to. Number three, would inspectors come into our school and see people less than 6 feet apart, they'd be right to say, hey, we think we need to close you down. So we don't want any of those things to happen. So please, we're asking everyone to be really careful about the 6 feet in public spaces. While we're talking about public spaces, so a couple of other things. Number one, in the classrooms, well, I'll come back to the classrooms in a minute. Number one, up-down staircases. Please make sure you use the up staircases to go up and the down staircases to go down. This is important. Number two, frequently wash and sanitize your hands. There is Purell all over the building. Wipe down surfaces before, after using them. We have materials in the classrooms, but it's also advised that you bring stuff from home. When you come and you sit down at a new desk, wipe off the barrier. It's a good idea. It's a good practice. Another one that people have made a mistake on. When you sneeze, do not remove your mask, right? That defeats the purpose of the mask, right? So if you're going to sneeze into the mask. Now you say, oh, that's gross. My mask is not going to be usable anymore. Keep it on, come down to the office. We'll give you a new mask, okay? But the mask protects against those nasal droplets that are coming out in multitudes when you sneeze. So keep the mask on during sneezes. In terms of the elevator, make sure only one person in the elevator at the time. I think most people have been really good about this. Most of you should not use the elevator at all for this reason, because there's a few people on crutches, on knee braces, and so on and so forth. They need the elevator. No one else should be riding the elevator. In terms of the bathrooms, 2 occupants at a time. But I think one of the things that we want to reaffirm here is even in the bathroom, you got to maintain the 6 feet, right? So I don't want to get into the graphic details of how that works in the bathroom, but maintain 6 feet even in the bathroom. I'd even say especially in the bathroom. Last thing, you probably have seen this already. Many teachers are also in quarantine, not only students. And when teachers are in quarantine, they're teaching from home remotely into class. And a classroom trying to listen to 20 different computers all at once creates this tremendous echo, but not if everyone's wearing headphones. We need everyone to have a working, charged, connected set of headphones every day. Every day, please make sure that you have headphones. Headphones are like the new pencils for school, so make sure that you have it. Okay, that's a lot that I just went through. I know we're asking for a lot, but we've done an amazing, amazing job, and I think everybody knows it. And I think we've been able to do something fantastic and phenomenal, which is to continue to have school despite all the challenges that we have. Per the Department of Health and per our medical team, the best we could tell is there has not been COVID spread within our building, which is a great accomplishment. To this point, there has not been not a single case of COVID spread in our building. And we really want to try and keep it that way. Sticking to these rules is going to help make it work. Let's stop the spread, as they say. Two other points about after Sukkot. So following Sukkot, we're going to remain in phase 1. We're not going to go to phase 2 yet, where it was just too many moving things happening right now. So we're sticking with the half-day mode of school, the morning, the afternoon, in terms of the in-person, and then the remote on the alternating times. Schedules will be going out this afternoon, so you will have a schedule of what the next couple of weeks will look like, and that's going to be significant in terms of planning your school and so on. You should have a lot more clarity about what the next couple of weeks and months look like. Last thing, and this is very significant. On the day we return from Sukkot break, all students and staff are going to have on-site testing here. We're going to test everybody for COVID-19. So there's a lot of reasons for this. The most obvious one is we don't want anyone coming back to school testing positive or not testing positive and coming back to school. So this is going to allow us to make sure who's able to come back and not. Now that's about 12 days out from now, a little bit more. In order for that to knowing that that's going to happen, I think everyone should know by now, even if you didn't know already, be really careful over the holiday. Don't go places where there's lots of people. Don't go to parties, celebrations, I argue weddings and things like that. Places where you could potentially pick up COVID, don't go, because what would happen is if you have COVID on day 4 of the holiday, you're going to test positive when we come back, and you're going to be in some version of quarantine thereafter. So please, everyone, we need this test for everyone. This is for students and for staff. We're going to have it the day we come back. It's going to be in school. It's going to be free of cost. You're going to be able to come in and take the test and leave. That's going to be the whole Monday. It's just going to be testing, and there's going to be a schedule and an email. We'll send out all the details. But please bear in mind that that's going to be happening. So just keep an eye out for it. In order to come back to school, you're going to need to take the test. If you don't take the test, I guess you're opting to be in a 14-day quarantine from the day we get back to school. So that's the gist of it. Looking forward to having people come back tomorrow, and hopefully we're going to continue to be doing great things. Continue to do great things from here on out. So yeah, that's it. I know there's lots of questions that people have. I am going to, I'll take, let's see, there's 250. I just am not going to be able to take questions tonight. There's already like a lot in the chat and so on. But I will send out everything that we have. If anyone has any other questions, you can email me, and either I or somebody else will respond. Okay. So we're doing our best. You guys have been phenomenal and great. And if we stick to the things that we've we've pretty much already been doing. We're just going to continue to do great stuff. We'll be able to be in school, to have the in-person learning like we've been enjoying, and keep everybody safe. So those are our objectives. Keep everyone safe. Keep everyone learning in person as much as possible, and be as flexible as we can, which we've tried to be. So thank you so much, everyone. We're going to stop here. And again, we're going to send out an email with a summary of tonight's session and also the recording. And if you have any questions, you can email me. I'll try to get back to you as timely as possible. Have a good night. Look forward to seeing everyone.